In our last video, we talked about the future of the Minnesota Timberwolves, who hold the #1 pick in the draft. So in today's video, we're going to look at the future of the Golden State Warriors, who hold the 2nd overall pick. I've had a lot of fun with this series, so if y'all want to see it continue, smash the like button, and let's hop into it. It's so crazy to think about the Warriors situation. Imagine if someone told you in 2016 that in 2020, the Warriors would land the 2nd overall pick in the draft, coming off a season where they had the worst record in the league. Now imagine if that same person also told you that they still had Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green on the team. As you guys probably know, the Warriors have had to deal with a lot recently. They lost Kevin Durant in the finals, then he went to the Nets in free agency. They also lost Klay Thompson for the whole season. Curry dealt with injuries, only playing 5 games. We also had Draymond Green both deal with injuries and really struggle when out there. All this combined led to the most dominant team of the past decade, landing the 2nd overall pick. Now this isn't the youngest bunch in the NBA. Curry's 32 years old, Klay is 30, Draymond is 30, but this trio still has more than enough left in the tank to get back to the top of the league. Curry just averaged 27 points, shooting 44% from 3 a season ago. His fellow Splash brother Klay Thompson averaged 22 points, shooting 40% from 3. The Western Conference is tough right now, but having these two on the roster, plus all the other possibilities we're about to get into, things could get crazy. This team has easily the most interesting offseason coming up, and I really don't think it's close. While most seasons, free agency dominates the headlines, we have a really weak free agency class, so most of the exciting rumors are going to surround both the NBA draft and trades, both of which the Warriors are going to be heavily involved with. The Warriors core right now is super strong. They've got Curry locked up till 2022, Klay till 2024, Draymond till 2024, their newly acquired Andrew Wiggins till 2023. They still have Kevon Looney till 2022. They did pretty solid in the recent draft, bringing in Eric Pascal, who was one of the top rookies, averaging 14 points and 5 rebounds a game, and they managed to get him in the 2nd round. They've got Jordan Poole, who statistically was absolutely terrible, shooting 33% from the field and 28% from 3. But luckily for him, the expectations now are much lower. He's going to have a whole new role next season, and I think we're really going to see him improve as a scorer. We saw his potential in a small stint in the G League, where he averaged 26 points on 42% from 3. So by no means do I see him as a future star, but if he is on the roster, I think he brings a lot of value at $2 million a season. When it comes to free agency, the Warriors have about 0 possibilities that involve players not getting the league minimum. This is unless they trade their whole entire roster, which they're obviously not gonna do. They clearly didn't make an effort a year ago to build a strong supporting cast around what at the time was their duo in Steph Curry and D'Angelo Russell. This season, it's a different story. They're going to have a chance at competing for a title, and they're going to bring in some strong veteran talent. At this point, it's hard to say what vet minimum guys they will target, so let's get into the exciting stuff. The Warriors landed the 2nd overall pick, but right now, it's hard to see them making a selection right there. In my most recent mock, I had them drafting Lamelo Ball, which got a lot of criticism, but as I said, I just really don't see them making a selection. So in that mock draft scenario, I had them taking the player with the highest value around the league. If they somehow have a change of heart and look to draft someone that'll help them win right now, I think that guy is Onyeka Okongwu, but that would really limit their possibilities. It's looking like they're set on moving this pick, but I really don't criticize the opinions of those who think they should make a selection, given the age of the players on this roster and the fact that with or without this selection, they still have a shot at title contention. I'm not opposed to them beginning to secure their future and continue their dynasty. So assuming this selection is gone, what are their possibilities? We've seen the crazy rumors over the past year. The Giannis rumors, the Ben Simmons rumors, the Karl Anthony Towns rumors, the Joel Embiid rumors. What's so interesting about all these crazy rumors is the fact that on paper, they're actually possible. Seems kind of crazy without giving up a part of their core 3, but because they were able to pull off that sign and trade for D'Angelo Russell, they actually have a contract that can be matched up with some of these big names. Now they no longer have D'Lo as they shipped him at the deadline to Minnesota, but in return, they got former #1 pick in the draft Andrew Wiggins, who's owed roughly $30 million a season over the next 3 years, along with the Timberwolves 2021 first and 2nd round picks. Andrew Wiggins is a very interesting player. He was the consensus top-ranked player in high school, receiving comparisons to the likes of Kobe Bryant. He went on to become the #1 pick in the draft and take home Rookie of the Year. Since then, while he's filled up the box scores, he's gotten consistently attacked by the non-casual NBA community for his ability as a defender, efficiency, ability to fit into an offense, playmaking, non-modern playstyle at times, etc. Now, he clearly has a place in the league, there's no doubt about that. It's just whether or not he should be getting $30 million a season. Now, in my opinion, and this might be slightly controversial, I actually think he could do really well in Golden State. He's going to a team that has established stars, established leadership, and an established system, something we haven't seen him play with so far in his career. He wouldn't have to do nearly the shot creating we've come accustomed to, and if he somehow stays on this roster, you're hoping to get a Harrison Barnes-esque role out of him. Now, I say all this, but there's a real shot he's out the door. It's probably the worst case scenario if the Warriors really want to build the best roster right now, that they go into next season with both Andrew Wiggins and whoever they select with the 2nd overall pick on their roster. We've heard Bob Myers recently talk about Wiggins as a member of their Big Four, so right now it's hard to say what this front office's mentality is surrounding Andrew Wiggins. Now, some people go overboard with some of the names the Warriors could go after, but it's actually kind of crazy how strong of a package they could bring to the table. If trading for a max player, we could see some combination of Andrew Wiggins, who while overpaid, I can definitely see some teams still believing in what he can do, and he's going to be needed if something blockbuster is going to go down. You've got this 2nd overall pick. It's a weak draft, and most of the lottery picks don't have huge trade value compared to past seasons, but I think there's a slight exception with the top 2 picks, given you're guaranteed one of Andrew Wiggins or Lamelo Ball. You've got that Timberwolves 2021 pick. The Timberwolves just finished with the best odds at the #1 selection, and again, could be at the top of the lottery a year from now. Now, as we talked about in the last video, they definitely have the pieces to make a big jump pretty soon, and this selection is going to be top 3 protected, so its value isn't anything insane, but it is a solid asset. The Warriors also hold all their upcoming first-round selections, and if the trade is right, they could potentially give up a young guy like Eric Pascal. When you look at all this, they could really put together a similar package to what the Clippers gave up for Paul George. Now, obviously, all these assets don't have to be included in one deal. There's quite a lot of scenarios I could see panning out. The first is that they make a selection and see what they have with this roster once healthy. Obviously, the least likely in my opinion. They could trade all these assets at different times in separate trades, trying to build more depth. This one's interesting with the possibility of them going back in the upcoming draft, still having strong trade assets while making a selection later in the first. Or they can try to get back to their super team status and package all of this for a top name. So now let's get into the names. Some guys I hear a lot but just won't happen include Karl Anthony Towns. I mentioned him at the beginning of the year as a far-fetched possibility if they wanted to blow everything up, but with how things have transpired since then, there is just no way that happens. You've got Giannis Antetokounmpo. Unless we hear Giannis actually demand a trade, he's not going anywhere, and even if that were to happen, it's hard to imagine the Warriors are offering the best deal. I've heard Devin Booker, like come on, there's just no way that is happening. Where it gets kind of interesting when it comes to the bigger names would be like Bradley Beal. There's a legit chance he's moved to this upcoming offseason, and while he's not the best fit on paper, it would be really exciting to finally see him play with a competent roster. You got this Sixers duo. We just saw the Sixers lose Ben Simmons ahead of the playoffs and then lose in the first round. With the money they've got locked up, things are not looking bright in Philly. We're starting to see a ton of rumors surrounding both Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, and if they really hit the trade market, the Warriors will most likely be in the conversation. In this same group, I'd also include a guy like Rudy Gobert. These are obviously best case scenarios. Now, with how highly we've seen this team speak of Wiggins, unless it really looks like they have a shot at one of these big names, I'm just not sure I see something happening. My prediction right now is that the Warriors trade down in the draft, still make a lottery selection, but also add to their pool of future assets. They make a trade this summer, but with the intention of finding a rotational piece, not a fourth star, while continuing to hold assets for when the right opportunity arises. A big trade is coming for the Warriors. I really do believe that. I'm just not sure if it's going to happen as soon as everyone's hoping. But that's the video, guys. These are just my thoughts. I want to know your thoughts in the comments below. If you liked the video, make sure you like and subscribe. And the shoutouts are gonna be Suns Geek, Chase, Chris, Adam, and John. If you guys want to shout out on the next video, all you gotta do is like the video and comment liked, or rep notification squad, and I'll shout 5 of you guys out. With all that being said, hope you guys have a great day, and peace.